Some soldiers survive because they're skilled. Some survive because they're strong. And then there are soldiers who survive for a reason no one can explain. Today, you're going to hear real stories of impossible luck. Moments on the battlefield when death was certain. But somehow, mysteriously, it stepped aside. These aren't myths, these aren't legends. These are documented cases of survival so unlikely, historians still can't understand how they happened. Story 1. The man who survived 2 atomic bombs. On August 6, 1945, Tsutomu Yamaguchi was walking to work in Hiroshima when a white flash lit the sky. A second later, the world exploded. He was thrown across the street, his body burned, his eardrums ruptured. But he survived. Shaking, half-blind, he boarded a train that night and returned home to Nagasaki. The next morning, he was describing the explosion to colleagues when he saw another blinding light. The second bomb fell, and somehow he survived again. Doctors still don't understand how a human being with severe burns, dehydration, radiation exposure, and trauma could endure that twice. He lived to be 93. Some called him the luckiest man on earth. He said, "No, I lived so the world would listen." Story 2. The Bible that stopped a bullet. Winter, 1942. Stalingrad. German soldier Karl Merz ran across a ruined street when a sniper fired. Point blank, direct hit to the heart. He fell instantly, but didn't die. Pinned to his chest was a tiny metal dent in the pocket of his uniform. A Bible. A single metal corner of its cover stopped the bullet. If the book had shifted just 1 inch, he would have died instantly. When medics examined it, they found the bullet buried in Psalm 91. He will cover you with his feathers. Some called it coincidence. Karl called it a message. Story 3. The tail gunner who fell 20,000 feet and lived. American tail gunner Alan McGee was trapped in a burning B-17 bomber over France. His parachute was shredded by shrapnel. The flames were eating the aircraft alive. He had 2 choices: burn or jump. So he stepped into the open sky at 20,000 feet with no parachute. He passed out from lack of oxygen. His body hit the glass roof of a train station at more than 180 miles per hour. The roof shattered like a life-saving cushion. He woke up hours later in a German hospital with dozens of injuries, but alive. The German doctor simply said, "You should not be here." Story 4. The soldier saved by a coin. 9:30 to 12 o'clock. Italian front. American infantryman Clarence Helms carried a simple silver dollar in his pocket, a gift from his brother. During a firefight, an enemy round struck him in the side. He felt a punch, a shock, but no pain. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the coin. A perfect bullet-shaped crater was smashed into the metal. If the coin hadn't been there, the bullet would have pierced his liver. The chance of a coin stopping around at that angle was calculated later by ballistics experts. 0.27%. He kept the coin with him for the rest of his life. Story 5. The Marine who dodged 32 bullets. Korean War, Chosin Reservoir. Marine Private First Class William Pete Rogers charged forward under machine gun fire. When his squad pulled him back behind cover, they stared in shock. His uniform was shredded. His gear was torn apart. His backpack looked like a fishing net. 32 bullets had punched through his clothing, but not one had touched his skin. He should have died 10 times over. When asked how he felt after, he just said, "I guess it wasn't my day to die." Story 6. The pilot who landed a plane with no wings. RAF pilot Alan Pollock was flying a Mosquito bomber when a German fighter struck him mid-air. Half of his left wing sheared off. The aircraft spun violently. Engine 1 failed, then Engine 2. His co-pilot shouted, "We're dead!" But then the impossible. The crippled plane leveled out by itself. With almost no control and barely any lift, Pollock guided it down and crash-landed in an open field. Investigators later said the aircraft was aerodynamically incapable of flight, yet it flew for 9 more minutes, long enough to save 2 lives. Story 7. The soldier who survived being buried alive. 17 to 1920 00. During the Battle of Monte Cassino, a massive artillery blast collapsed a bunker with 17 Allied soldiers inside. Rescue teams pulled out 16 bodies. 1 was missing. 12 hours later, a medic heard faint tapping under the rubble. They dug for 2 hours and found Private George Paxton, alive, dehydrated, barely breathing, but conscious. His explanation? "I crawled into a pocket of air the size of a helmet. I don't know why it was there, but it was." The engineers who examined the collapse determined that the chance of a survivable air pocket forming was less than 1 in a million. These soldiers weren't superheroes. They weren't chosen by destiny. They were ordinary people caught in extraordinary moments. Moments when the universe bent just a little in their favor. If you want more true stories of survival, courage, and the unbelievable moments that history almost forgot, subscribe to this channel. Because every story we tell keeps another name from being lost to time.